Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today, I'm going to give my opinion on beans and let you know if it's a part of my diet because I've been getting asked about them a lot lately, all right? So, really short answer is if you eat the way I teach, adding beans or legumes is definitely a downgrade, all right? If you're eating the standard American diet, which is, refined grains, cereals, waffles, sugary drinks, frozen pizzas, adding beans would be an upgrade. But for me, I go for optimal. So what's the optimal diet and can you fit beans into that, all right? So first off, it's like, why would someone eat beans? A lot of times you say, well, it's a good protein source. Well, compared to what? Compared to meat, you're getting about 60 to 70% less protein, right, relative than to if you eat a piece of meat. And when you eat a piece of good quality chicken or turkey or fish or beef, you get way more vitamins and minerals on top of it. So for me, as far as a protein source, I just go with meat or eggs, for sure. You get way more protein plus everything else. Plus, legumes are high in protease inhibitors. So what those are, they inhibit your ability to digest and utilize protein. That's not good. But it gets worse. There's a thing called a protein digestibility corrected amino acid score. So what does that mean? It's basically, there's protein and amino acids make up protein. So it's just a score to grade how good of a source a particular protein is and how well your body can utilize and digest it. So not only are you getting 60 to 70% less protein, the PDCA score is about 30% less on top of that, right? So beans and legumes are a much, much lower quality protein source than if you just eat a good quality piece of meat, all right? I'm not talking about a McDonald's burger or a McDonald's chicken nuggets or any of that garbage. I'm talking about quality, good fish, chicken, turkey, beef, deer, venison, whatever, okay? Right? Here's what's really interesting too, is like collagen protein, which is really popular right now. It's got a digestibility corrected amino acid score of 0. Top's 100, it's a 0. I think it's a very poor protein source. I would never spend money on it personally. Another thing with beans or legumes is they're high in things called lectins. So what lectins can do is they can damage your insides, right? And they damage your digestive system. So your digestive system should be a really tight like mesh. So just the smallest things can get into your into your body to be utilized, but it can cause that to leak. And larger proteins can get into your bloodstream, and that can cause autoimmune diseases and bad things in people, right? So now, if you eat like raw beans, these are so high it can make you really sick and even kill you, right? So cooking, soaking, sprouting drastically reduces this. But for me, it's like, well, why not just go with eat a piece of meat? Plus, let's throw this in here. Eating a piece of meat just tastes way better than eating beans. It's like, for me, I don't think beans are good. It's the stuff you add to the beans that tastes good. So like, if you make a big bowl of chili, by the way, if you talk to like a true chili cook, right? Adding beans, you just don't add beans to true chili. But instead of adding beans, I'm gonna add more meat, more tomatoes, more onions, more of the good stuff that mask the blah taste of the filler of just beans. But anyhow, moving on. Saponins, really quick, is they damage cells. They damage you. That's not good. By far the highest saponin concentration is in soy protein isolate. Soybeans, by the way, is a bean or legume. That's why I never recommend soy protein. And one of the reasons I never recommend it. It's like why is soy protein so common nowadays? Because the government pays farms to grow copious amounts of it. Like, just drive around. All you see are cornfields and soy fields. Why? Because the government pays farmers to grow it. So there's an enormous supply of it, so it's dirt cheap. So that's why they use it as a protein source. It's not because it's a great protein source. It's just the cheapest. And it's sprayed with Roundup. It's just bad news for you and the environment, really. There's things in beans and legumes called phytates. And what they do is they bind to calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus too, I believe. And they bind to it and pull it from your body so you can't absorb it. And that's very important because it doesn't matter really as much what you eat. What matters is what you eat and what you absorb. Like, what good is it to eat anything if it just passes through you? You want to be able to absorb the good nutrients, and you'll absorb the nutrients much better if you eat a protein source like meat or eggs, right? Something like that. Stinky butt syndrome. That is a medical diagnosis that I invented for beans. Like, for a lot of people, it makes your butt stink bad, and it causes digestive unrest and digestive distress. It makes you gas and bloated, and for me, it makes my bowel movements way less enjoyable, right? Or way less clean, and it's just, sorry about that picture, but it's just not good, right? So if the legumes or anything make you feel like any sort of ick or gas or bloating or make you reek and your spouse doesn't want to sleep with you anymore, probably not a good thing. And then lastly, a peanut is not a nut, it's a legume, right? It's a bean, it's a legume. Okay, so now peanuts have been shown to be very atherosclerotic, where they clog arteries. It's a very unhealthy thing. I highly recommend really cutting out or limiting the peanuts and go with tree nuts, almonds, walnuts. I mean, there's so many good tree nuts and they taste a lot better. Yes, peanut butter tastes good because they usually add extra oils and sugar to it. And some people are like, oh, I go with the natural peanut butter. Well, the natural almond butter still tastes better and is better for you. A little more expensive, but it's worth it, all right? So in the end, beans and legumes, they're just not something, they're not a part of my diet at all. Like, I just don't eat them. I think it's much better. So let's say you want a protein, carbohydrate, fiber source, right? I go with quality, healthy raised meats, fruits and vegetables instead of beans. I don't think, it's just what I've read and researched. In every way, the way I teach is better than adding beans to your diet at all. That being said,